Odysseus has one ship left. 11 are gone, smashed from the cliffs above, speared through their hulls, dragged under with their crews. A people called the Laestrygonians destroyed the fleet in minutes. Giants. They lured the ships into a perfect harbour and rained boulders down from every side. Only one ship escaped. His. Because Odysseus moored it outside. Now a silent crew rows towards a new island, smoke visible above the trees. No sign of who or what lives there. Nobody wants to go ashore. Nobody can stay at sea. They've run out of choices. What just happened back there? And why does Homer place that horror right here in the middle of the journey? Fighting the Cicones demonstrated the wrong use of force, the raw, war-minded raiding when they should have sailed by. The second challenge they faced at the Lotus Eaters was a surrender to ease, a beautiful life drifted through without purpose or will. The Laestrygonians are what comes next if neither of these lessons has been properly learned. They're cannibals, giants who eat men. The scouts Odysseus sent came back, or one of them did. The king of the Laestrygonians ate the others on the spot, called his people, and from every cliff above the harbour the boulders rained down. The ships were pinned, broken open, men speared in the water like fish. What is this in Homer's map of the mind? This is the mind that has gone uncorrected long enough that its own energies turn inward. The forces that should be directed and governed, the life drives, the impulses, the hungers, become self-consuming. Not an enemy from outside, a self-destruction, cannibalizing from within. Cannibalism is the limit case, the appetite that devours itself. Odysseus alone survives with his men because he hesitated at the entrance of the harbour. Not wisdom, not yet, barely instinct, but lucky hunch, but it's enough. He sails his one ship, a beautiful island rising out of the lucent colours of the sea. On this island they will meet a goddess who turns men into pigs. Why pigs? And why can't she touch Odysseus? This goddess lives in a stone hall, a beautiful villa in the centre of the island surrounded by wolves and lions, tamed ones, animals that move around her like men who have already been through what the crew is about to face. Odysseus divides the men. Lots are drawn. Eurylochus leads half of them towards the hall. He doesn't go in. Something holds him outside. Call it caution or fear or a different kind of instinct from the one that failed in the harbour. He watches through the trees. Circe appears. She sings. She sets food and drink before the men, and one by one they change. They become pigs, bristling, penned, their minds still human inside, Homer tells us, but their bodies utterly reduced. Eurylochus runs back. He can barely speak. Circe is not a villain. She is the divine life force. The appetites, the hungers, the energies that underwrite every human life, these forces aren't evil. But unmet by consciousness, untempered by the mind, they reduce men to exactly what they are at their most unguarded. Animals. Pure appetite, no direction, no restraint, no self. Men do not become pigs because Circe is malicious. They become pigs because that is what they already are when nothing higher is present. Odysseus goes in anyway. He doesn't become a pig. And then he stays a whole year. Why? As Odysseus makes his way to Circe's palatial villa, Hermes meets him on the path. The divine messenger, pure connective intellect in motion, stops Odysseus before he reaches Circe's door. He gives him a plant, moly, black root, white flower. Black root, underground, hidden, sunk in the dark earth, everything instinctive, everything unconscious, everything that operates below the threshold of awareness. White flower, upright, open, turned towards the light, the conscious, the willed, the understood. The herb that protects Odysseus holds both, and can only be plucked by an immortal. Odysseus needs this hermetic wisdom. This is what divine insight offers the mind before it can face the life force without being consumed by it. Not the denial of appetite, not a spiritual bypass, but the knowledge that both natures are real and that both must be held consciously. He goes in, Circe tries her magic, it fails. She recognizes something she has not seen before in all the wanderers who come to her island. She puts down her wand. She receives him, not as a pig, but as an equal. May we pause a moment here? This channel is dedicated in part to exploring the deeper and vital meaning of mythology. If that's your interest too, please like and subscribe. We're gradually covering the whole of the Odyssey and Iliad and what it reveals about human consciousness. Odysseus stays with Circe a year, not as a prisoner, as her companion, her guest, her counterpart. His men are restored, and Homer says quietly that they look younger than before. Renewed, not just free. What is this year? It's not another Lotus of forgetfulness. Odysseus still recalls Aeaea. He's learning, really learning, what Circe is, what it means to live alongside the life force rather than be enslaved by it or flee from it. Eurylochus's caution was necessary. The instinct not to walk blindly into that hall, but caution alone would have left the crew as pigs forever. It took the moly, the double awareness, and then the willingness to enter anyway. When Odysseus finally tells her he wants to go home, she doesn't rage or grieve or hold him. She gives him the road ahead. Every trial that remains, every danger he's not yet faced, the underworld, the sirens, the passage through Scylla and Charybdis, the enchantress becomes her guide. 3 stages. The Laestrygonians show us what the ungoverned life energies finally do. They devour, from within. Circe shows us what is their true nature, divine, necessary, and dangerous only to the unconscious mind. The year on her island shows us what becomes possible when the mind meets that force with clarity and holds the dark root in the white flower and doesn't flinch. The deepest forces in us are not the enemy. Homer knew that. He just hid the knowledge in a story about cannibals and a witch. The journey goes deeper still, into the underworld itself and beyond, as we'll discover.